Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Life and Love. Here we talk about life and love. We're trying to have an insight into what makes us tick, into what produces suffering for ourselves and others, into why we cannot realize our own reality, same as all awakened masters from the past have done. So in this episode, I would like to continue talking about awareness of being. It's a part 2. In part 1, we talked a little bit about what awareness. We presented what Padma and all other masters have stated regarding awareness, which is our own reality. It is the ground of all being. So if one is grounded in it, one will always use pure intelligence in order to function, in order to act in the right way. Now I still like to bring another couple of statements from the masters, and let's see what they have to say further.
It is this one consciousness, or knowingness, that is dispersed around in all living beings, and being of the nature of awareness. It protects all bodies everywhere. The name of it is the light of the universe, and all living beings are alive because of this universal light. The actual experience of it is evident and can be seen directly for oneself. Saint Sri Samartha Ramdas.
Here, Saint Sri Samartha Ramdas explained that consciousness or knowingness realization, it's already in us. And it's that awareness which makes us whole. He names it the light of the universe, same as Christ and Buddha have named it. So we, at times, we are grounded and we are actually in it and work from it, but very little times we spend in it because we are always drawn out by the senses. We are always drawn out by the mind, by our thoughts, by our conditioning, by our desires. Therefore, very little time we spend in that awareness, which doesn't really need anything to behold. Nothing you can add to it, and nothing you can take from it. So it's always perfect as it is. And it cannot be changed, but it changes everything. So I'd like to go to another statement of Ramana Maharshi. Let's see what he has to say. He was asked a question regarding Jiddu Krishnamurti and other great masters, which has for many years talked on the mind, on awareness, on all these things which stop us from seeing our own reality. Let's see what Ramana Maharshi has to say.
J. Krishnamurti teaches the method of effortless and choiceless awareness as distinct from that of deliberate concentration. Would Sri Bhagavan be pleased to explain how best to practice meditation and what form the object of meditation should take? Ramana Maharshi. Effortless and choiceless awareness is our real nature. If we can attain that state and abide in it, that is all right. But one cannot reach it without effort. The effort of deliberate meditation. All the age-old vasanas, inherent tendencies, turn the mind outwards to external objects. All such thoughts have to be given up and the mind turned inwards, and that, for most people, requires effort. Of course, every teacher and every book tell the aspirant to keep quiet. But it is not easy to do so. That is why all this effort is necessary. Even if we find somebody who has achieved this supreme state of stillness, you may take it that the necessary effort had already been made in a previous life. So effortless and choiceless awareness is attained only after deliberate meditation. That meditation can take whatever form most appeals to you. See what helps you to keep out all other thoughts and adopt that for your meditation. Sri Ramana Maharshi.
Here, Ramana Maharshi is pointing out that this awareness cannot be realized by most beings. So, in order to be grounded in it, we are prone to help ourselves through yoga, through meditation, through fasting, through whatever spiritual practice or non-spiritual practice we might bring about this help in order to slowly sink ourselves in awareness. It is like if you go in a bush with no shoes and a thorn spike your foot. What you do, you get another thorn to take the one from the foot out. Then what do you do with the thorns? You throw both of them. So it's the same with our conditioning. Our conditioning is so like a thorn in the foot, which somehow has to be getting out. But to get that conditioning out, we need to form another conditioning by practice, by spiritual practice, by yoga, by whatever means one might find for themselves. And in doing so, we have another conditioning, but which is lighter, which is not as much as destructive than the first one towards us and others. So with the second condition, we slowly take the first conditioning out. And then we drop both of them. So we can then ground ourselves in awareness. It is one way of doing it. Last time I expressed how I practice and how I understood from all the masters that the best one is to be the witness all the time of whatever happens inside yourself and also outside yourself. So you are always aware, but you never judge what happens. You never analyze it. You just look at it with partiality, with no judgment of what you know about that. Because the moment you judge something, you don't see it clearly. So you stay with that witness for as much as you can. First time you might stay for 20 seconds. You will notice you'll be drawn out of it. And then when you notice that you are drawn out of it, you bring yourself back to that witness. That witness is your aid. It's like your second tone. You practice, you need effort in order to stay with the witness. Same as Ramana Maharshi has pointed out, that we need that effort in order to build up another tone, another conditioning which is more lighter, which we can actually deal with it more easily. It's not so abrupt, it's not so fierce. So when you stay with the witness, you are attentive. You're trying to be fully attentive into what you do. Every minute you make a cup of tea, stay with doing the cup of tea. try not to think of something else. If the thought takes you out of that presence, bring yourself back to the presence. That presence, that witness, it's your key to being liberated one day. The more you do it, the more you will function from this awareness of being. Not being like identifying yourself with the body or the mind. It's being in oneness, one with everything. So you feel that awareness expanding your mind into hearing much more, into listen to the noises which before they used to annoy you or make you agitated or anxious. The more you stay in awareness, you see that the noises will not affect you anymore. Then you stay longer and longer. And that is one way of staying with awareness, staying with your own reality, because that awareness will take you in that reality where there's no anxiety, where there's no depression, there's only love, a bliss which cannot be explained by words. Same like God cannot be explained in words, evil cannot be explained in words. The God which can be told is not the real God. The evil which can be told is not the real evil. So the same, the moment you have an explanation about yourself, that's not the real you. The real you cannot be explained by words, by symbols, by anything. It can only be lived. So that's where yoga practices come into being. Any aid which calms you down and puts you in that awareness, to stay with the witness and not react. The senses bring sensations, then feelings somehow are formed. On that feelings, we react and produce emotions. And so we are caught in that making of feelings, reacting and making more emotions, which they bring about anxiety or depression or state of nervosity, which are not healthy at all. So this awareness is the key to self-realization, to wisdom, to love. All this are incorporating in awareness. From awareness, pure intelligence can act with no thought. Actually, we can function with no thought from that intelligence. That intelligence can employ thought when need be, but only when need be. When you need it, then you employ thought. You don't allow thinking and thought to take over your life. You don't allow the ego to control you. In that awareness, ego takes its own place, and it can be employed only when we need it, like a servant. So there are many things which keeps us from this awareness. There are our attachments, our condition, our judgments. In the future videos, we'll look at each aspect of ourselves. We'll look at how the ego works, how it tricks us and keeps us in sort of illusion. What the mind is, how the brain functions. We really need to look at all these things to understand ourselves, to understand what makes us tick. Why do we like particular things and we resist others? what makes us being different than others, why we drawn to certain experience but we resist others. If one is not willing to go deeper within, the heaven which Christ talks about will never be found. So we will always be caught in the patterns of thought, desires, fears, and so on. That's why I thought talking about a little bit about awareness, it's important. And it's imperative for us to understand that there lies the key to live a life in harmony, free from all mischief, enjoying life as it comes, enjoying the wind, the sea, enjoying nature, flowing with nature, and see people for what they are at the moment they are, without judgment. Then you'll see reality, you'll see why people act in the way they act. You'll see all the troubles in the world, why they are there. You'll understand that consciousness of humanity is still evolving, and their evolution, it's a natural process, but it's up to us how quick or how slow we like to evolve. We might not call it evolution, we might call it actually realization, because it's nothing to evolve into. It's everything about realizing who we are. The moment that realization comes, everything is fine. You are home, and then home, it's where you are. So next time we should talk about identification, how we identify ourselves with our bodies, with our mind, the condition, the attachments, and how all this works in a scheme of things. For understanding that processes, in that understanding, it's easier to stay then with the witness. It's then easier to be grounded more and more in that awareness of being, which that energy is in all of us, and it's all of us. So I hope you have a good day, and wish you a beautiful life full of joy. Bye-bye.